Michael Jordan. And that's his first field goal. The Bulls 12 and the Knicks 9.
You can see that New York wants to get it into Jackson's hands as quickly as they can after Chicago scores so they can get into the half-court offense. That time, 17 seconds, but Jordan with the steal.
Wilkins able to foul him, and Michael Jordan going the length of the court and stuffing emphatically, but it will not count.
If the foul takes place in the backcourt, Jordan gets no free throw attempts. If the foul takes place in the front court, it's a clear path to the basket. The swipe, the steal. Now, where does the foul take place? There. In the backcourt, clearly. Good call by the official. They take it out on the side.
The Bulls with the ball and a 3-point lead. 5 minutes gone by. Shot clock down to 7. Scottie Pippen. And Jackson able to move it down. The Knicks set up. The Knicks continue to control the tempo. The Bulls have not been allowed, for the most part, to run the court. Here's Oakley. The Bulls 12, the Knicks 11.
New York with that let's hurry up and wait type attitude is how they play offense. They want to get it up quickly, but they know they must control tempo.
Michael Jordan is fouled. Beautiful move, accelerating to his right. The foul called on Oakley. A timeout has been taken. We'll be back in a moment. The Knicks' physical play throughout the series, which has been a concern for the Bulls. We asked Coach Phil Jackson, are the Knicks now more physical than Detroit?
Well, Detroit's a more physical team. I think Detroit has the ability to play a little more physical game, but what has happened is the Knicks have learned that kind of physical combat from playing the Detroit Pistons, and escalated their physical defensive attack. And right now, it's what we have to play through. You have to learn to play through that. And sometimes we're hanging on for our life out there with the ball, or under duress with physical bodies on us, and we're outweighed and outmanned at most every spot except the guard spots.
You know, I really feel badly for Phil. Outweighed, outmanned. This is a more subtle message that he's delivering this year than in the past against the Detroit Pistons type of message that they had delivered occasionally.
Are you saying coach speak is what we just heard?
Phil is doing what he should be doing, and he does an excellent job of delivering a thought every now and then to people.
What is it with Michael Jordan at the line? You recall Thursday night in Game 2, he missed 3 out of 4 from the free throw line in the closing minutes.
Normally an 83% free throw shooter during the regular season.
The Bulls 13, the Knicks 11. The Bulls continuing the pressure. Wilkins with a facial going right at Cartwright.
Now, that's the style of play that Gerald Wilkins flourishes in. Open court, scramble and make something happen with your athleticism, and then get to the rim. That's how he loves to play.
Jordan for 3. Michael Jordan hits from downtown, and the Bulls lead 16-13.
Okay, so he's not making his free throws.
Yes. Anthony Mason has checked in. He handles the ball well, and he was able to penetrate down court and able to get in for the layup. And a foul is called. Look out. Pippen was tripped up.
Again, the Chicago defense causing the Knicks to scramble. When you're scrambling and you have their defense running around, then you want to take it to the basket, make something happen, and so what if Big Bill rotates over? When you can get up the way Wilkins can, you send it down with a lefty slam. He loves it. The Garden crowd loves it.
Bill Cartwright was called for the foul of Anthony Mason. Now Mason sets the pick. Jackson with the pick and roll goes behind the back for Mason. The Bulls by 3 with 5:15 to go in this opening quarter. They double up on Jordan, and Grant took a shove from Mason. Anthony Mason called for his first. Anthony Mason in his 3rd year out of Tennessee State, originally drafted by Portland in the 3rd round back in '88. The Knicks over the foul limit, so Grant to the line.
Speaking of Anthony Mason, that last trip down the floor, the Knicks played pick and roll 2-man basketball using Mason as the screener. When Jackson came off and threw the ball back to him, wide open, and you notice that no one from Chicago really in a hurry to rotate to him. They basically kind of watched him and said, shoot that one. We'll see if you can make a few.
The Bulls now 6 of 7 from the line. Chicago 17, the New York Knicks 13. Here's the double team on Jackson. The steal by Jordan. And Michael Jordan hits on the reverse. And the Knicks again are having big problems with the pressure of the Bulls.
And Chicago is changing up its point of attack, where they're going to double team, where they're coming after you. And New York's going to be forced into a decision here. Attack quickly, try to score, or regroup and sit up after the pressure.
Patrick Ewing missing his first 2 field goal attempts. And again, we get a whistle.
A few moments ago, the double team taking place right over the half-court line. And then Mark Jackson, who's much smaller, a good strong trap. Jordan with the hand out there gets the deflection. And then just to remind those fans that think he may have forgotten how to dunk it, no, does a little reverse for you.
Foul was called on Ewing, his first, and Scottie Pippen to the foul line. Back to the subject of the Chicago trap. The Bulls successful in trapping the ball when Mark Jackson was in the game on Thursday night. John Paxson able to shut him off, so Charles Oakley had to constantly come back for the ball, and of course he's not the player you want handling the basketball. And Pat Riley indicated that's the reason Greg Anthony saw so much time, because he's handled the pressure on the ball more effectively.
And another adjustment that some teams tried to use against Chicago during the season is to play with a smaller lineup, to have one more ball handler out there, someone else with the ability to put it on the floor, get it up court, take it to the basket.
Oh, the rejection by Pippen. It will count. It's a goaltend.
Now, Garrison says that it was on its way down. Pippen coming from the weak side, and that's where most of your block shots come, not on your man. Is it on its way down? Yes, it is. Good call.
And we are now seeing the mobility of Scottie Pippen that we did not see the first 2 games because of the sprained ankle.
And Chip Schaefer, the trainer, receiving a small bonus for having him ready for this afternoon's game.
Here is Pippen, and the Bulls lead at 23-15, 8 points for Scottie Pippen. Just under 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. McDaniel, yes. The Bulls 23, the Knicks 17. John Starks, Greg Anthony getting set to check in as Michael Jordan. Makes it 4 for 4 from the floor. He has 10 points. Ewing from deep. Loose ball foul. And it's called on the Knicks. It's on Mason, his second. The Bulls to the line with the Knicks over the foul limit. Wilkins and Jackson sit down, so Starks and Anthony have checked in. John Starks got involved in a trash-talking duel with Michael Jordan on Thursday night. Starks said that he was wrong to get caught up in it with Michael Jordan, because all it did was serve to fire up Jordan. In fact, Jordan says sometimes he'll do some talking just to rev himself, to get himself going.
Well, Michael Jordan is a gentleman that loves to accept challenges, and he tries to find new ways to motivate himself to reach a new height. And if he finds a younger player, a guy with less experience, and he can talk a little bit to him and get the guy into that verbal confrontation, he gets a kick out of it, because what it does is the challenge once again is there. Let me see if I can destroy this guy. It's no different from what I hear in the Bulls practices. He does the same thing to his teammates to try and push them to a new level.
Again, the Bulls come with pressure. McDaniel off the spin. Forced them to a difficult shot. Grant with the rebound. The Bulls with a 26-17 lead. Chicago has come out hitting 8 of 10 from the field. Paxson for 3. John Paxson hits from downtown. The Bulls open up a 29-17 advantage, and we are now seeing the Chicago Bulls, who went all the way last year. The Bulls who won 67 and lost 15 during the regular season. Back at the Garden, 2:46 remaining. In this first quarter, the Bulls with a 29-17 lead. Ahmad Rashad mentioned right at the start that to this point in the series, Michael Jordan has not been going to the hoop as frequently as he has in the past. And here's a breakdown. He had been looking for the jump shots over the first two games, but you get the idea today that he is looking more for the drive.
A couple factors in. They understand today they must draw and initiate more contact. You take what the defense can give you, and New York has come out and tried to play them soft, meaning get back off them more, make them take jumpers first. New York knows they have too many counters that can break down pressure for easy scores when you get up too hard on them.
E.J. Armstrong has checked in for the first time. One of the heroes for the Bulls Thursday night starts, and it's rebounded by Grant. Chicago in the midst of a 16-4 run the last 3 minutes, and this game now has, here's Jordan with the spin. This game thus far being played more along the tempo that the Chicago Bulls like.
Here's a small little factor as far as tempo goes. Greg Anthony with the penetration, Ewing stepping out for the jumper. In the first two games, New York took about 73 shots per game, which means around 18 shots a quarter. Already, they have taken 20 shots in the quarter with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number one. So Chicago has accomplished what they want. Get this tempo up, speed it up, make them take more shots, cause more ball possessions.
And the Chicago ball with 10 on the 24. The Bulls, as you just saw, have been on fire here in the first quarter. 75% shooting. Jordan guarded by Starks. Oh, Michael Jordan again. He's hit 5 out of 6. He has 12 points.
Something that Tex Winter told us during the course of the year. We had mentioned it. You stayed away from posting Jordan up a lot this season. He said, yeah, but we know we can always go back to it in the playoffs whenever we want to.
McDaniel, he was stopped. Terrific play by Pippen from behind.
I think Pippen's ankle is feeling better.
Now Pippen being played by Starks on a switch through the foul. So Scottie Pippen will go to the line as John Starks is called for his first.
Why is Chicago's defense so good? Because they are a swarming defense. They help each other out, and then tremendous athleticism. That was a clean block coming from behind over the top, where normally you get body contact, chest to back, defensive man to offensive man.
Scottie Pippen averaging 21 points per game during the regular season. Shot 76% from the foul line. Will Perdue checking in now for the first time, but as you see, Pippen shooting only 33% from the field over the first two games. He was 2 for 12 in game number 2 on Thursday. Bill Cartwright sitting down. Hit 2 of 2 for 4 points. The Bulls 32, the Knicks 19 as we come up on 1 minute left in the first quarter. Game 3 of the best of 7. The series tied at 1. And that is a leg block. The Knicks get the new 24.
Part of the feeling on Chicago that in both games 1 and 2, end of the first quarter, game 1, New York up 25-16. Second quarter, still close enough, down only 3, 27-24. Chicago wanted to make a statement in the first quarter to try to discourage the Knicks from feeling that, hey, we can play with these guys anytime we want.
Nice drop step move by Ewing. His second field goal. Bulls 32, the Knicks 21. Pippen using the pick, and we get an offensive foul called on Chicago. It's on Perdue.
Well, that's one of those fouls that Will Perdue, a guy coming off the bench, he's going to get that kind of whistle. An established star in this league, never going to get that call against him.
Anthony setting up McDaniel, and he threw it away. Pippen off the intercept, leads the break. Oh, Mason with a good play to get back, and he came up with the steal.
Point of emphasis with New York. Transition defense, get back early, stop their first wave.
And Starks will go to the line. The basket will not count. Purdue called for his second.
A moment ago, the screen by Purdue is